Good evening, Andy and Amanda. How are you this evening?
Yeah, excellent. Amanda?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, Amanda's been her lady of surprise today. You want to tell Colleen what you pulled them in before then? Can you tell them about what you're doing tonight for your tea?
Yeah, I've downloaded this app that's called Too Good To Go. And you look at the places nearby and see what they've got left that's not been sold, and you get a bag full of stuff that you don't know what it's going to get for a low price.
Yeah, well, obviously, we're not going to name the brand, but you can. It doesn't stop Amanda saying, first of all, the one you did last week, does it? Last Wednesday, was it?
Yeah, well, a certain coffee shop I got free sandwiches for £3.
And these sandwiches, Colleen, are usually, what, $3.50 to $3.99?
Yeah.
Oh, nice one. That's what I said to Amanda before we went on air. It's going to take off. That's the kind of thing I like as well.
Yeah, the one today, Colleen, was a bit more interesting, Amanda, wasn't it?
Yeah. From a bakery, I got a sandwich, a sausage roll, 4 donuts, and 2 buns, cinnamon buns.
Belgian buns. $2.59. So yeah, I said, guys,
my goodness, you can't even buy a Belgian bun for £1.50, let alone $2.59 for 6.
Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, Amanda got a good family, a good bargain there. It's a bit time for my sister, that one. Thanks, Louise. Like I said, we were at my mum and dad's, Colleen, not last Saturday, the Saturday before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, that was it. And all, even that, we saw my sister, I can't remember it was now, a couple of days around at that point, and she turned around and told us she was going to a certain bakery on the way home from work because she was leaving it early. And then she told us a list of what she got, and she came back and she got 2 lots of about £5. And you told you how tall my nephew is, Colleen. That was your nephew, Jack, is 14 now, and he's nearly as tall as me. And apparently he just eats and eats and eats.
That's my favourite bakery, by the way, and it's really good. You can get so much in there. I could spend the whole day there.
Well, we're not going to name it, of course, but
every time I go there, what I say to the staff, how do you work here? Because if I was working here, I'd be eating all the food all the time.
We were talking about that with you once, Amanda. What firm was it you said?
I can't remember now. There was a job that came up somewhere, and I said I wouldn't be able to do that because apart from the fact I don't like people, I just eat all the food all the time.
There was one that came, it was now. And then we were talking, I remember joking with Amanda once about a certain very famous chocolate biscuit maker.
Yeah.
And it's in space as I Stockport, begins with an M, and actually clue everybody if you want to research it. And we discovered the jobs there. I remember this one, Amanda, with you, because you turned and said to me, and you put about 4 stone in weight on him like 2 weeks.
They say you've got to pack 200 biscuits an hour or something, and then they're like, we meant in the boxes of they're not in your mouth.
The response I got was, we get used to it. I can't get used to seeing donuts and all those lovely cakes and not wanting to eat them at all. I can't get used to that.
I used to work in I used to have a friend, Colin, some years ago. Oh, he says, I don't see this guy anymore now. He used to work in an actual bakery that made all the stuff, basically. And he ended up frequently, we used to go to Rock World or so, having like a rock nightclub. And he used to get into nothing because he used to bring along all these bloody fruit loaves he'd made in his factory. So started giving them to the 10 bouncers outside, and the bouncers nobody interested in eating and dealing with all the fights in the club. That's why.
I could never get fed up of eating donuts. They say that if you work in a donut shop or bakery, you get used to the food, so you don't want to eat it at all. I haven't got to that stage yet.
Don't worry, Colleen, if you were making them all day after day, I'm sure you'd end up getting fed up with eventually of it. But again, I don't know. I've never worked jobs like that, so I can't comment.
I've just been like, this one that I've made is faulty. I'm going to have to eat it because we can't sell this one.
Yeah, Amanda, but that'd be 200 amount for 220, wouldn't it? So
yeah.
Children, huh? Yeah, sounds good.
That's right. Well, tell Colleen how your diet's going, Amanda, because everything now wants to know how you're going. Then
I don't know.
but you did your last Tuesday, didn't you?
Yeah, I've lost 9.5 pounds in total since I've started.
That's why, Colleen. So she's weighing herself tomorrow, and we'll see how she's going tomorrow with it. Well, no, that's
you can
I had a big piece of bacon and egg sandwich last week, and I've had a donut today, so I'll probably put it up. I could again now.
You can always walk it off, though.
Well, she's tell Colleen what you told me before. Well, this is a good point. Now, if you discover you put weight on tomorrow, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I was gonna normally, because I've done like nearly 4 miles across the canal today, I'd do a 2-mile walk tomorrow. But I says if I go weigh myself on the scales and it's good news, I'll do a 2-mile walk. If it's bad news, I'll do a 4-mile walk. If it's really bad news, I'll just keep walking till I get to Huddersfield.
And how far to Huddersfield? About 20 miles, isn't it? So people are wondering, Clean. I tend to ring a man up every lunchtime. So if I ring up tomorrow lunchtime, says to me, I'm in Huddersfield.
I'm halfway to Huddersfield. It was really bad on the scales this morning.
As long as you don't stop on the way to the other bakery there and get some more nice food.
I think that's the last thing I need.
It will be that one, Colleen. Because Huddersfield's like, what is it, 30 miles each way, is it? Something like that, isn't it? It's a very like a walk.
Something like that,
yeah, and then I said, watch your space, everybody. She's determined to, how much weight are you hoping to lose, man?
I'm going to get down to 10.5 stone.
And what
That's good. Congratulations.
11 was it, I think.
Yeah, 11 she is. So the moment she was lost in, I said she was nearly 13 stone just over a month ago. So she wants to get down to 10.5.
No,
so,
it was about 12.5.
Oh, 12.5, yeah. Sorry, 12.5.
I wasn't that fat. Thanks for making me even fatter than I was.
well, she wants to lose about 2 stone basically before we get married. Okay, so got a chance of it, certainly. So.
Nice. It sounds good. It sounds like you're on the right track, and
yeah.
Nice food on the way.
A couple of updates, everybody, as well, because you were asking me also last week, Clean, I had an interview last Monday, last Monday, wasn't it, that American agent, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm not going to name her, but it was quite bizarre news. I'll say the surname. A surname in New Zealand was Manchester, so that's why. But I chatted to her in an hour last Monday, Clean. Very, very, very interesting lady she was. So I'm not said it's like sometimes. Tell me if you agree with Clean. You meet some people in some fields like agents and stuff like that. I personally, there's a lot of people who are absolute plonkers, basically. But this lady was not a very, 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 very interesting lady. So that's why. So as I'll be revealing more when that comes out. So I'm on a podcast next Monday as well, Colleen. Actually, a literature podcast in America as well.
Oh, so it's both American. Was she American as well?
Yes, she was. Yes. Yeah. The thing at the moment, you've got to bear in mind, Colleen, and I don't know if you're aware of this. It's the podcast market, internet radio market has expanded in England. I think in the last 5 years a lot, but there's still most of the market still in America, really.
So we're going international then.
Well, it's just the way it's done. It depends. Half the time for me, it's just if I find people I want to talk to, I'll talk to them wherever they are. And that's why it's just the way it's gone. It's not planned, not necessarily planned to be an international game with me, but if I find people I want to talk to, I'll talk to them.
It's staycation at the moment, but once we've got through lockdown, we can probably just go to these places, I suppose, France and America.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find them sometimes in the networks and stuff, because anything like podcasts, it's not always straightforward. Now, Amanda was talking about this last week to me, weren't you? Remember what you told me? You said to me, didn't you, most podcasts that you found were in America, weren't they?
Yeah, because I did a lot of guesting on podcasts last year, and I don't think any of them were in the UK. They were all American. And there was one that was a fairly big name in the paranormal world. So I agreed to go on it at 5 o'clock in the morning our time.
Remember that. Could you do that, Colleen? Get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go on the internet radio at 5 in the morning?
Because I normally go on to the show that one of the directors have. So I do that to get used to the media industry and just have a chat that way about 5 in the morning.
Yeah, I couldn't do it at 5. I don't operate that well at 5 in the morning. The additional lady does.
I think there was a couple of things where I had brain freeze, but I think I did all right to say it was probably one of my better ones, actually. I just said the first thing that came out of my mouth when he asked me questions.
Was it more like a paranormal show then, where you have to discuss?
Say the show's name.
It's an American one called Midnight FM, and it's quite big in the paranormal world where people are interested in paranormal stuff.
And was there any interesting topics that were discussed?
We were talking about my book because it's a fiction book, but it's about a woman that discovers she's dead and she's a ghost and she tries to solve her own murder. So we're talking about ghosts, and I think I was talking about my belief in past lives and just all sorts of stuff, really, just like all different experiences that I've had.
Out of interest, Colleen, what's your views on past lives?
Just about to say, so it's this must be working again. Every time we talk about paranormal, something quite unusual happened.
Sorry, I've been serious. Less serious. Go on, Colleen. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I believe that if we start to see something familiar, like we go somewhere that we've never been to before, we see something that looks familiar, that's from our past lives. And
Yeah.
somebody I know took me to the School of Psychic Studies in London because she goes there to do courses. And we went to the session where you had to close your eyes and just let whatever comes into your mind, just let that come into your mind. And then we had to say what we saw. And I saw nothing, but she saw like a little egg. And I think there is some significance to that.
Yeah, I think so as well. We've got two stories in that one, haven't we? Because didn't you do some regression ones, didn't you?
Yeah, I had the CD. I don't think I've got it anymore. And it's to do a past life regression on it. And I saw that I was a woman during the war in Germany, and I fled Germany to go to England. But then I tried it again, and I was seeing another past life, but around the same time. And I thought, oh, well, this is rubbish. It doesn't make sense. And then I heard about this thing called split souls, where you can actually be living two or more lives at the same time.
Goodness.
So your soul could actually be in 2 or 3 different bodies. So that would make sense why I was seeing these 2 different past lives that clashed with each other.
We did the regression, as I say, and she told me that, and she told the group that when she did it before, she was actually a Turkish male.
All right, interesting. Now I've got 2 quick stories to clean off, so I'll keep mine very brief here. One was, I always remember Amanda's best mate, Ruth. Now, Ruth is, well, what does Ruth do for a living?
She does tarot reading.
Yeah, and Ruth's a psychic as well as some kind, isn't she? So
I remember she's very sensitive to
now, what did Ruth say about me and you once, first time she met me?
I don't know.
She said basically, when we got together, we'd either been together as a couple previously or we knew each other in past lives. And just after that, Colleen, is another one. And we had saw, I'm not going to end the film, I saw a god-awful film at the cinema with Amanda. I went into a full trance for about 10 minutes. I don't remember 10 minutes of the film. Because I literally the trance where and saw me and what affected with me and Amanda. Looking at me with a massive bald beard, and Amanda's hair was touching her for basically like some sort of prehistoric man.
Is that what you saw?
You said we were Vikings,
didn't you? Vikings. Vikings. You might be Vikings.
That sounds actually like fun, that does.
There's more Vikings actually. So it was Vikings. Sorry, yeah, my fault. So it's Vikings. It was. Yeah, I just skipped another past life for about 10 minutes because the film we watched was god awful and the song down with it. I'm not going to relax that much thinking, oh, it's boring. That's why, but yeah. I said I believe in that stuff a lot, doing it.
Have you looked at the way Vikings lived, and have you compared it with how you live now, and see how much of a comparison there is?
Yeah, they didn't have the internet. Sorry.
I wonder what Vikings would look for on the internet, doesn't it?
Yeah, new longboat. Get the most up-to-date technological sound longboats.
What do Vikings like that you like as well?
Oh God, I don't know.
That.
It's one for us to research actually.
I know my dad used to watch the TV show Vikings, and all they seem to do. Well, I can't repeat what they seem to do, but you can guess what they seem to do a lot of anyway in the show.
I never watched any of it.
Every time I caught part of it, it was in the bedroom, shall I say?
Your dad like watching programs like that, didn't he? There wasn't There was a program called American Horror Story. Didn't you watch that with your dad or something?
Yeah,
There's
we
two
started
birthdays.
watching that in the early series with my dad, and then it just seemed every other episode there was something really kinky going on, and it got a bit awkward, sat there watching something like that with my dad there in the room. So I stopped watching that then.
Unfortunately, guys, that's 15 minutes.